Florida, right? Now, they have maps. We went over the one, the California map, showing you the tribes. And then we showed you how they use that same tribal layout to reconstitute the tribe in the city of Los Angeles using what they call the gang map.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's just one is on a larger scale than the other.
Mm-hmm.
But we still did the same stuff. And now, like, you got just like you got different groups of people in America, you got different groups of people in Mexico.
Right. Dog.
In Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, that being said, you can tell the ones who indigenous heritage override their colonial indoctrination.
Right.
When they get over here stateside, the ones whose minds are colonized, they want to act like Caucasians.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that they call Pharaoh Mexicans, they hang out with us. They got their whole set, and they set got treaties in California. This set might have a treaty with the Bloods, and that set might have a treaty with the Crips, and they fight each other according to tribal rules.
Right.
Right? So that means that if this Mexican came from a Blood affiliate, and this Mexican came from a Crip affiliate, and they bump heads in the street, they gonna run that fade.
Right.
They gonna run that fade just like if a Blood ran up on a Crip on the same note. They gonna run that fade.
Right.
Right. Our problem didn't come in with us running fades, by the way. Our problem came in with the government teaching us to kill each other so they don't have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Running the fade is how you showed your manhood. It's how you showed your status. The better you was with the hands, that means the more focused you was on the craft. Right? Since Big Tookie is not currently on the scene, the highest ranked knuckle chief is Mike Tyson. So if you want a blessing from a chief on them hands, you got to go spar with Mike Tyson, especially if you're a heavyweight. If you're a middleweight, you got to see Floyd. Even if you don't have an actual fight to get the rub of the land. Right? All these Floyd ain't no African. Them Indians, them Ottawa Indians out of Grand Rapids. And we don't know that though, because we was taught that the Indian looked like the Mongolian and that the ones of us with the nappy hair look like something else. Blow that up so the people can see it. And when they were making fun of Mike about that paint, they thought that was African. That's not African. There's no African tribe that wear that. You can find it in the Polynesian Islands. You can find it in the old cultures of Mexico and America, but that's not African.
Yep.
That tribal art is not African, but only an African or somebody who from the tribes that wear that art can tell you it's not African. Anybody else, it's all African. Mike not no African. Not that Mike got anything against African. People be saying because we tell you we not African, that means we don't like Africans. And nothing could be further from the truth. We have a long-standing, multi-million year relationship with the continent of Africa. Right? What we don't have is a modern interpretation of us being African outside. We was intermarrying with. They got more oral traditions in West African culture saying they came from over here than they have oral traditions over here saying that we came from Africa. Before Columbus, that wasn't even a matter of fact. Before the 1900s, that wasn't even a conversation if we was African or not.
Right.
We didn't even become a conversation until probably the 70s. the 60s when we start accepting the influence of foreign people proclaiming to be us. Look, Fred Sanford, Queen Latifah. All this is known. Which one copper color? Come on now, stop playing with me. Man, say we know the truth now.
It's game over, man. Look, can't make stuff like this up, man.
And this is one of
on the land. The bloodline.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest pills to swallow to realize that we've been at home the whole time paying somebody to live in our house. We've been paying them to let us live in our house. They got court cases that say the United States do not own the territorial rights. See, territorial rights is a whole nother animal because that's heritable rights. Right? And when you look up heritable rights, then they're going to tell you about what's called heirs land. If we was all slaves and we wasn't allowed to buy land, sell land, we wasn't allowed to participate in their banking system, we wasn't allowed to get educated in their school, and how at the turn of the 1900s are we the largest holders of heirs land out of anybody else? How did we inherit the land if we ain't from here? Right? You could do a quick Google search and type in how many acres of heirs land did so-called African Americans have in 1901, and it'll tell you.
Most of the land.
Right? And we still own the land, and now they don't classify it as heirs land no more because of what's called sharecropper squatter rights. The squatter rights is part of the salvage right of the admiralty jurisdiction. That's why they call it squatters' rights. It's not the person who owns it, it's the person who's squatting on it while he's waiting on the salvage team to catalog the property. They call it creating a deed. Right? You want to see something slick? Type in who held the first deed in the United States of America. Look at there.
Right.
Africans, huh?
Yeah. Right. These people was over here, man, already.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna type it in my phone while you're doing that.
Look, right here.
Yep. I know a whole bunch of sisters look like that know they ain't Africans.
Right. Right. Half your family, half people on watching now got somebody, a cousin or somebody look just like her. I'm telling you. Half the people watching now. I'm telling you. Look at this. Y'all know him. These Americans. That's what the Americans right here, man, look like. Still on the land, still the same people.
Okay, now watch this. Now remember my question, right? The question was who held the first deed of record in the United States?
Go ahead.
Okay, now it's recorded, right? If it's the deed of record, that means that it's recorded, don't it?
Right.
Okay, now listen to what Google say. It is not possible to name a single person who held the first deed of record in the United States. Where the record's at?
Go ahead.
Where the record's at? Okay, let me go a little farther. As land ownership and recording practices began in different colonies at different times, the initial titles to American land were held by European colonial powers. I told you, we didn't need titles and deeds.
We didn't never have that.
including the British Crown, who was the largest of the ones. And land was granted to settlers through companies and proprietors. You get it? It said, here's an overview of the earliest land record practices in the colonies. Plymouth, Massachusetts. Remember we talking about the Plymouth colony, the Virginia colony, Northwest Trading Company? Okay. Yeah. One of the earliest known deeds was recorded in Plymouth in 1627. The settlers known as Pilgrims had already introduced individual land ownership by 1623. What was we doing with the land before that?
That's the Jacobites.
Right? Now, they had the Virginia colony, Jamestown, Virginia. In the Virginia colony, though settled earlier in 1607, did not adopt formal regulations for recording mortgages and registering claims until 1639. So they had been here for years without recording no deeds of land ownership, right?
Right.
It said before that, land grants were made to proprietors who functioned like feudal lords. That means feudal to feud is the root word, which is conflict. They mean warlords, but they call them feudal lords. Right now, the next they have something called the Massachusetts Bay Colony in 1640. This colony enacted a detailed recording act in 1640. Requiring documents to be indexed by name, description, and registration of dates. Right? Then the next one, which is the fourth one, a statute of Virginia, 1656. A statute was passed requiring all deeds to be registered in a book at the county courts.
Wow.
Right? Over time, these colonial practices influenced the recording system adopted by other colonies and later American states. See, they're recording these as a state now in the narrative. After the American Revolution, the federal government confiscated land from the British Crown, and Land Ordinance Act of 1785 was passed, creating a legal framework for land ownership and transferring property through land patents.
Wow.
Dude, this is why when they gave Empress Redbird the allodial title, this is the foundational instrument to all of these deeds that they made that claiming was ours. Now they have to give it back. They ran from Empress Verdiasi till she passed over, which left it to the next qualified heritable heir.
Right.
Which gave us Empress Redbird.
Right.
Right. Now, the entirety of Turtle Island, North, Central, and South America, as they call it today, the entirety of that is tribal land.
Go ahead.
In the Indigenous Rights Act, it tells you that we have a right as the tribes to administer or govern over all tribal lands. Right. The exception at the time the document was written was Washington, D.C. because it was considered an embassy. Now it's no longer the Washington, D.C. It's the District of America now, which means that the Republic confiscated it back before they give it back to the tribes. But before he renamed it, we had already staked the total pole to claim it. Remember that?
2012, go ahead.
Yeah. So now we at the end game, we at full disclosure time.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know how close we is to full disclosure? Follow the Obama situation. And I'm about to show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we have to break here, man, because too many people know it's you can't come to something. I mean, once you hear the truth, you can't get it out.
Hear it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't believe it or agree with it, once you heard it, you can't unhear it. For casting.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's a place you can look up all of the people that you think is in Hollywood, DC right now. Mm-hmm. It's a entertainment site of actors, and they tell you what kind of roles they play and all that kind of stuff. So like the instance, the press secretary for Joe Biden, the sister, remember her?
Mm-hmm. Press
Yeah,
secretary for Joe Biden.
yeah. Matter of fact, Gaddy Boy, he just went over the receipt showing I think I shared it on my Facebook. Let me scroll down and look and see. But he was just sharing on his Facebook that she was part of six. Now remember, Trump been pointing these people out, telling us he's central casting. She's central cast. I'm central casting. They central casting. He'll be great in this role. He's the top guy from central casting. We didn't pay that no attention. The average person didn't, because Trump's reputation for fluff.
Yeah, it's like
right?
they got like say a lot of stuff that he a wild card. He a Trump card,
Yeah. And remember, if you want to catch up real quick and you behind, go watch Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck is Donald the Duck in DC.
Go ahead.
Right? So they was playing that narrative, right? You gotta remember, he just said Barack Obama got caught stone cold.
Yeah.
Right? You heard him say it out the mouth. Okay, now we got to go back to the raising of the ransom or the bounty on the head of Assata Shakur. Right? We got to go back to that because that was coinciding with the photographs released from Benghazi. Let me show you.
Go ahead.
In the photographs from Benghazi, a very beloved entertainer of ours, who's supposed to be dead, is in the pictures.
Tupac. Hold on, man. I got some pictures too. I said, oh man, come on now.
Public Tupac alive. They tell the public Tupac alive in 2012. Oh man, these YNs is gonna form into an automatic military contingent. Automatically. If the government admit Tupac is alive, why do you think Barack Obama stood on stage and said, "Where is Tupac and Biggie?" and they supposed to be dead?
Yeah.
Why is he doing that? Obama was a dirty Moor.
Go ahead.
And the thing that he's talking about, a lot of people don't remember this. But him and Hillary came out in front of a Moroccan flag.
That's right.
And the reason they didn't tell you the reason, but they was trying to redo the Treaty of Peace and Friendship format to repurchase America, but Morocco didn't have control.
Go ahead.
Right? Morocco was telling them that the only people that they can get control from, because they lost control to the Vatican and to London and the bankers in Switzerland who run the Federal Reserve.
Go ahead.
You gotta remember, when we say that the bankers in Switzerland run the Federal Reserve, nobody over here in America is the chairman of the Federal Reserve, and maybe recently it might have changed. But normally, like Greenspan lived in Israel for his whole tenure. He was the longest reigning Federal Reserve chair.
Go ahead.
And every time the interest rates had to get changed, they had to send him a presidential security to Israel and flying back like he the president to America to give a press release to adjust the interest rates. Most of us didn't pay that no attention.
Man.
Right? Because he was working for the bankers in Switzerland. The banks that they use as the front banks is the World Bank International Monetary Fund, but those are just gateway banks. The big bank is called the Scottish Bank. It got another name to it. Scottish something bank.
It's the same bank they show you in Harry Potter. Let's put that in your brain. The Harry Potter, when he go get his underground with a goat, where all that they open the vaults. Mm-hmm. They got in Switzerland. These guys.
Okay, now the bank, the World Bank and International Monetary Fund's owners didn't live there. Mm-hmm. Right? They had recipients there and some high-ranking board members, but the top owners of IMF, International Monetary Fund, WB, the World Bank, we lived in a place called the Isle of Man.
Go ahead.
The Isle of Man was a small island that they use for diplomatic purposes to keep them concealed while they do all of this dirt. Mm-hmm. So Obama got the letter, the stand-down letter from the Pope. Mm-hmm. We went over that, didn't we, Elder?
Yeah, we got the whole story down.
Okay, now, the reason why the Pope wrote the letter was because Obama was trying to get the Pope to allow them to reconstitute the treaty with Morocco. Now, remember, when the Treaty of Peace and Friendship was signed, there was no country on earth called Morocco.
Go ahead.
There is no ancient Morocco. There was no country before the 1900s, nowhere on earth called Morocco. But there was, out of Spain, something called the Royal Moroccan Company. It was called Rex Al Maroc something, but it translated into English as the Royal Moroccan Company.
Go ahead.
Right? The people of Morocco wasn't called Moors.